Hello, I'm Tammy Davis and really happy that you're here. This video is actually basically an update. Since I've started doing videos, I've gotten a lot of questions regarding various health conditions and concerns. And as with anything, change is inevitable. And if you haven't been to my website or know me, my entire life mission has been to get to the root cause. Just to the root cause, basically, of illness. There's good reason for this. I mean, there's plenty of evidence in my life that would have fueled this desire. But there again, it's basically something that's been driving me. And when I reach this point of it's acceptable, but there's still a point of dissatisfaction, I keep going. And there's just this very interesting path that I have found myself on in the area of research and study, which is what I bring to you every time I show up, and what's available now through the courses that I'm developing and additional materials. That said, like I said, this is basically an update, and it was prompted by a recent petition that came across my desk with regards to glyphosate. Glyphosate is the chemical found in Roundup. Apparently, there's some concern that within the public, understandably so, that glyphosate is not being eliminated. The USDA is not saying that not to use it. And this is a product, like I said, that is a chemical in Roundup that is produced by Monsanto. Now, this video is not to rally the troops against Monsanto. So all I'm saying is that there's a petition going around. I'll put the link below if you'd like to raise awareness, but I'm going to invite you to hear out this video before you rush to go sign a petition to rage against Monsanto. And I say that because in theory, we've been given these skills to think and develop, and for anyone to badmouth, I get it. The glyphosate has been, California has ruled it as carcinogenic. The World Health Organization is also saying that it's probably carcinogenic, so glyphosate has a bad rap. And does it belong on our food source? No, it doesn't. Not if it's potentially harmful, but this is the reason for this video. Any chemical is potentially harmful. Any chemical has the possibility of triggering a cancer or any other health condition for that matter. How it manifests in the body is determined by the individual genome. Glyphosate, if it's when I see the statistics with regards to the percentage of glyphosate that's been found in our foods, there's a lot of it, but not all of us are running around with cancer. So that says there's more to the system than just a particular chemical. And again, I'm saying keep the chemical in the food, nor am I saying go wail on Monsanto. What I'm saying is let's be reasonable about the way we think of things and understand that every chemical, whether it's our own hormones or chemicals in the foods that we eat, which I'm not talking, when I use the word chemical, I'm not talking artificial or, synthetic or man-made or however you want to label it. I'm talking everything. Estrogen is a chemical. Histamine is a chemical. We produce those two chemicals. They are signaling chemicals, which means they actually activate and deactivate various processes in the system. This is very important information to know. And the thing is a lot of the chemicals environmentally that we are exposed to, whether it's through bath and body, through our drinks, through the air that we breathe, if they are, there are plenty of chemicals within our environment that actually act as signaling molecules in the system because of the way they're designed. And the reason why they're designed this way, for the most part, and I'm talking about pharmaceuticals at this point, is because they're targeted. And what I mean by targeted is there's a particular mechanism of action that they are meant to go for in order to alter the system, in order to create a result. That's what I mean by targeted. So when it comes to environmental toxins, such as chemicals like glyphosate, there again, it is targeted because what is it trying to do? It's trying to inactivate, or in this case, kill bacteria and viruses and other pesticides. It's a pesticide, and it's trying to kill anything that's a pest. And the only way that it's going to do that is to get into the DNA of the creature. Therefore, it is a similar makeup in the sense of why it becomes a signaling molecule and how it's affecting our system. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's carcinogenic. Like I said, depending on the individual genome. And yes, we're seeing an increase in cancer, without question. This comes down to the way the body is not responding, or I should say recovering from the stress response. All of these things right here go into what is covered in the Breaking the Cycle of Disease Management course, which I've now reduced the cost of the class because I'm more interested in people learning about this information and being able to digest it, if you will, so that we can all begin to be more proactive and pursuing a healthier life. Because the truth is I don't want to be regulated with worry or by having to cut out certain foods. I just don't want it. That's not how I choose to live my life. I would much rather be able to, like in my case, anoint myself with essential oils that I select specifically for what's going on with me at the time. And to me, that is the most profound way that I can actually assist my system to take care of me. That said, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, I don't want to be regulated. I don't want to be, consumed with worry about what the hell do I eat, what is okay to eat, what don't I eat, or for that matter, so that kind of worry, along with other stress, and then for that matter, then create these limiting diets. And so that brings me into chemicals that our body actually produces. The two that come to mind off the top of my, well, actually there's three. Well, there's a lot of them. But first one is histamine. And I chose histamine, and actually oxalates were the other one. It's because histamine and oxalates are found in food. And we have these diets out there, are low histamine diets and low oxalate diets. But the interesting thing about it is an oxalate is the result of metabolism within a plant. Okay, so and therefore that's the reason why it's there. It is actually what we produce. It's a metabolite that is in our system that needs to be eliminated. The challenge is with our system, depending on our epigenome, it's not being eliminated. Therefore, we have higher oxalate levels, and now you have the diet that puts people on low oxalate foods. Well, the thing is like not every food affects everybody the same way. Same thing goes for histamine. A lot of people have challenges with histamine, or so we think. But the truth is there's more of an neuroimmunity, because the macrophages of the immune system are what trigger antibodies and histamine, and it becomes cyclical. So it's not necessarily just histamine. But that said, there are foods that contain histamine. Again, histamine is a chemical that is produced through chemical conversions within a system. And in this case, to eat a low histamine diet, well, you can potentially follow the food plan, but the fact is that not every food affects everybody the same way. And maybe you don't have a histamine problem. Maybe maybe histamine isn't your challenge. maybe it's more about the way your body is not breaking down the macronutrients, which is going to prompt a histamine response. So these are factors that have to be considered, and this is the reason why having a second set of eyes and ears to actually hear everything that you're, kind of observe and hear everything that you're experiencing to be able to determine the best bet. My suggestion for you in this moment is eat the foods that make you feel good. Eat the foods that you feel good on. I don't necessarily mean the comfort foods, because that's your go-to when you're stressed. I mean, when you're done eating, you still feel vibrant. You feel good. You don't, if you eat something that gives you a headache or makes you experience brain fog or bloating, or itchy skin, even if it's an okay food on your list, but it makes you feel that way, don't eat it. Okay? I understand there's a lot of parameters around what foods to eat when we're talking about such issues as these. And yes, there are foods that contain the glyphosate and they contain other environmental toxins, but the fact is that we have to be realistic that this is a part of life, and that the problem isn't outside of us as much as it is the way the body is not functioning the way it's wired to function. And this is where the oils come in, because the oils actually help the system begin. They help begin to rewire the system so that the body can actually sustain itself, detox itself, eliminate the chemicals that it doesn't need, utilize the chemicals it does need. And in this case, with like glyphosate and other environmental toxins, it is possible to override these environmental toxins. It is very possible, but we have to be willing to take a look at the full scope, the bigger picture as to what's really going on and how to be more, like I said, proactive with our own system. And this is the reason why I said watch the video to the end, because the last thing we need to do is get all worked up and then start signing petitions and then firing off all these emails and sharing it everywhere because we're, pissed because this stuff is in our environment. But that's just one chemical. There's a lot of chemicals that are in our environment. So the place to start is right here. It's get a really good, solid relationship with yourself and really help your body develop the strongest mechanism it can for detox and keeping itself clean and healthy. So that, and that's not to say don't be an activist and declaring and demanding a healthier food supply, definitely, but you got to be able to help your system first. And trust me, if we continue to limit our food intake and don't eat certain foods, we're depleting ourselves of so many nutrients. And really what it comes down to, as I've mentioned in other videos, is really getting the body to break down those the fats, the carbohydrates, and the proteins without question. Because as I mentioned, it may not be a genetic issue such as I mentioned in other videos that potentially would cause high histamine levels, and as the first one that comes to mind, or oxalate issues. It may not be that at all. It could just be the fact that the body's not breaking these macronutrients down, beginning in the gut. Therefore, you have larger particles floating throughout the system, which is going to prompt what? It's besides a stress response, it's actually going to trigger an immune reaction because the body doesn't recognize these particles. It's not able to use them. It thinks it's a foreign invader, and so it releases histamine in order to protect you. So, like I said, the cycle becomes very vicious, and my goal is to help as many people as possible be able to break free from this. And so there's a number of ways that you can begin doing that. And it's either I can work with you individually. You can begin by taking some of the, a couple of the courses that are available right now on my website at synergessence.com. By all means, check out the petition with regards to glyphosate. And I've got a couple of other links here because it is a concern. It is definitely an environmental concern, and we don't need that in our bodies. We don't need our children being born with more health issues than they already are. I mean, what they're coming into this world with is sad to begin with, and to continue to pollute the external world and then in turn to pollute our internal world is just unacceptable. There are ways, and again, I mean, it's really, the problem seems like it's probably too big to overcome, and this is the reason why I say we at least have to start at home, which is right here, and strengthen our systems, become clearer headed, so that we can hear the ideas, feel the inspiration, and take powerful steps to clean this mess up. It doesn't require, fighting and getting ourselves more stressed out about it. It takes becoming really clear within ourselves, helping to clear out the system. There's plenty of time. And I mean that with all sincerity. There's plenty of time. All we have to do really is just take care of this, so that this can take care of us, so that we can be more powerful and with our mission, and individually and collectively. So that's really the crux of what I'm doing here, and that's the reason why I said this is an update. So whereas before I was talking about very specific health conditions, I can still do that, and I always welcome your questions, because I'm very happy to assist you to the best of my ability, and I will always guide you as far as I can. But it's not possible to do that completely unless I have a full picture of who you are and what you're going through, so that I can specifically guide you. So that said, if you have any questions, please let me know. Click on the links below. Check out what's going on with regards to the glyphosate, and just know that the more you take care of yourself, the better equipped you're going to be able to help others and fulfill whatever it is that you feel compelled to fulfill, because we need everyone to be as healthy as possible. And this, to me, is one path that will definitely get you there. So I look forward to hearing from you. Until then, have a really great day.